Alright. Do you have some kind of, teammate skin or something? Because I don't recall the, friendly AIs looking like that.
No, it's just I got lucky and it just looked like that. But yeah, usually whenever I get to this part, the AI dies. But usually, if they survive, they just get into the elevator with you.
I think last time I played, I got lucky and all the AI just kind of fucking lived. But they didn't get in the lift with me, so I'm not... I don't know what the fuck. I figured they just figured, well, one guy's all we need for this. If we follow him, it's just certain death. But that dude has quick save and quick load.
That guy that was in that little closet, I just heard the door open, I turned around to shoot him.
Speaking of one guy getting sent into everything, I mean, in the context of realism, which shouldn't even really be a thing in video games, but just for the sake of argument, did nobody think to go and help Jake? Just, send other people after him into the sewer?
Well, there was one guy, but he already died.
Yep.
And after that guy died, they figured, well, that's a lost cause. And besides, they've already decided they're attacking the mall instead, so...
It's a good thing Jake has main character luck. Like Gordon Freeman before him.
His tragic backstory is just enough to power him through this.
Yeah.
So, are we coming up on a certain creepy voice?
What?
Oh, sorry. I'm getting way ahead of
Oh,
myself.
no. The horror parts are divided into 3 sections. Well, no, the game is divided into 3 sections. One is the house, which is where all the happening happens. And
the rest of the game is not happening whatsoever.
Well, no. The prologue is just the sort of lead up to how Jake gets into the underground facility. And Chapter 1 is where all the survival horror elements start. Which, again, I've probably said this before in another part, but I highly recommend playing this game on hard difficulty where there's not as many items spawning. Because it adds a whole new sort of metagame to keeping your hunger meter up. And, tougher enemies, all that. Really reinforces the whole survival horror thing.
I personally played this on normal mainly because it was kind of hard enough for me as it was.
Well, yeah, I would recommend that your first playthrough be on, normal or easy. No, not even easy, because there's way too many items.
You kind of got to know where you're going first, otherwise that hunger meter is going to become such a problem.
First and then play on hard, because it's almost like a whole new game on hard.
I didn't used to play like this. It's only recently I started becoming the kind of player who explores every nook and cranny, which means Chapter 1 was taking me...
That'll serve you well in Chapter 1. Because
I stopped playing once I got my new computer because I've yet to reinstall it, reinstalling everything else, but where I was in some prison section, and I did some kind of platformy shit to jump over a wall I don't think I was supposed to go over yet. And I spent about 20 minutes just exploring this section of prison that doesn't really have anything in it yet. That I don't think is going to serve the game for a little while. So yeah, that's kind of my way of playing games now. It's just going over everything.
Well, you'll find all the cards then, and you'll get a bunch of cool shit from the hermit. In case
I was trying to get just enough cards for a deck, so...
Right. The thing I love about this, and pretty much the Smod branch in general, is that explosions have a lot more effectiveness to them.
Also, if you didn't notice, that NPC actually killed himself with a grenade. That actually happens quite frequently in this.
Pretty good demonstration of how bloody efficient they are, then.
The weird thing about the AI is sometimes they're ridiculously good, and sometimes they just do the
That
stupidest
sounds
shit
like
that's
Smod
possible.
to me.
Oh god, yeah. I got this World War II game for like £2 the other day, and there's something great in the manual because it's basically admitting the AI is absolute shit, but trying to cover it up. But basically, it was like you could stay behind cover, but eventually the enemies will come around it and try and flush you out. Not even throw grenades; they will walk around cover and try and flush you. Not to mention the booklet was 2 pages long and had spelling errors, so, like, £2-3, you get what you pay for.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, Underhell's free and it's fucking awesome.
True. That was just disrespecting the dead, Lawley.
I was just taking his helmet.
Exactly. Just smash the helmet off his face.
You know, I actually love the way that they handle grenades in this because, like, I fucking hate UI elements that point to the grenades like, hey, there's a grenade right there, run from that position. But you just use your ears and it's highlighted in red in this.
But yeah, that guy just killed himself with a grenade as well.
Fucking stupid asshole.
They should stop giving these guys explosives. Or maybe part of the plan was suicide bombing and they're just trying to live to that part.
No, maybe they just hate their job or something.
True. Well, if their job is suicide bombing, then they both hate their job and appreciate the out.
Well, he's,
If you get in a certain position, you can actually jump on the train and ride it, kind of. Yeah.
I wonder if in, like, you know, since they, well, Wally, I'm gonna want you to put, like, a timestamp for when I stop talking about this, because it's spoilers. They kind of hint at Jake's psychic powers, so I wonder if he's gonna have slow motion, like in the original S-Mod in Chapter 2.
That'd be great. Also, Lawley, I was gonna say, you ride the train from the top, not the front. Bit of a vertical difference. I got through a lot of... I remember when I was playing this, I quick saved in this part with like 5 health accidentally, so I just slogged through the rest of it. I was kind of trying to exploit the enemy's AI to get them to run to me, and this shotgun has a hell of a range on it. I appreciate that.
Real shotguns
I really do
also
love
have
the shotguns in
a lot of
this.
range on it.
Yeah, I know, like, very few games show that, like, a shotgun's groupings are fucking tight. They stay together for a long time. I think only, like, Rainbow Six Vegas, kind of, it's the last game I can call that demonstrated that, really.
Well, wait a second, what about Battlefield 3? You can attach a sniper scope to a shotgun.
I haven't played Battlefield 3 yet.
Well, apparently, I don't know if it was patched out yet, but, like, people were attaching this, like, huge-ass sniper scope to a shotgun and literally sniping people with a shotgun.
Now that is a proper use of equipment right there. I appreciate anyone who decides to go balls out with their weapon.
Whenever I play this part, I always end up using the sniper rifle.
You know, even though that this part of Prologue is the most well-designed, this little mall area right here, it was my least favorite because it just kind of dragged out a bit. Especially, like, the helicopter. But the helicopter was cool, and it kind of presented a point that a lot of people miss. I'm not sure if this is much of a spoiler or not, but, like, pretty soon, Frank, quote-unquote, dies in a helicopter crash. But they make it a point to showcase the fact that you see the helicopter wreckage and the bodies that came out of it in this scene, but you don't see a body for Frank.
Yep.
And Matthew later quotes Frank's catchphrase when he talks about his instructor or his handler, or I forgot what he called him.
I honestly kind of love what just happened right there, because that citizen was just facing a wall in a bathroom,
Oh, yeah.
and that guard didn't notice.
You know the bowling alley here? I think that in the original Underhell Prologue, if you tossed a bowling ball at the pins, it would say strike in your user interface. I think that got removed, though.
I wonder why. I guess it does kind of kill
Yeah, I
any
suppose,
tension.
but, you know, I like little Easter eggs like that.
Yeah, I've also heard, and I might be thinking of the wrong scene here, but if you save enough people, and this guy really doesn't want to be saved, that someone will eventually give you, like, a revolver or something for your
Probably.
efforts?
I haven't actually tried that yet, because civilians are, well, yeah.
Awful. They don't really deserve to live. Like, if they wanted to live, they wouldn't have been here in the
Yeah, how
first
dare
place.
them for going
was
to
pretty
a
obvious.
mall? I mean, like, they should have known that there was a terrorist attack incoming.
There was a terrorist attack and the mall
Yeah,
was
I
begging
know.
for it.
They should have seen that coming.
It shouldn't have been in this part of town with that
No, but
glass
truth be
window.
told, in all seriousness, I just hate the source-friendly AI, because they like to clump around you and get in front of your shots, and, like, they move abnormally, sort of.
I'm gonna be honest, the citizens in like my run on this was actually terrifying, because every time I encounter them, they're doing weird shit, like facing a wall and doing something weird.
Well, if they can't see the terrorists
Yeah,
can't
totally.
see them. Second, I thought someone was coming out to kill you, then.
Occasionally, NPCs actually like spawn in that little ice cooler as well. Like on my last run, there's a citizen in there.
Up till now, I didn't know you could actually smack the helmets off people's heads, and I can't decide if that is terrible or completely
I
hilarious.
think it's clever. I mean, like, what other game do you know that does the whole helmets for armor thing?
That's true. By the way, I meant
Oh,
terrible
no,
from an ethical standpoint, not a gameplay
of
one.
course. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I mean, Jake just goes around. What the fuck is that spelling? What the fuck? See, this is what I mean by like source, like friendly. Oh god!
Oh, he really wanted to be. How did he do that?
He ended up crashing my game, whatever he just did as well.
Wait, what? He crashed
Okay, I've
your
heard
game?
like that.
Yeah, I had to actually go back and find him.
I've heard that there's like an infinitesimally tiny chance that if you ran at a wall, you could completely phase through it thanks to
God.
physics. Like near impossible anyway, but I think he just pulled that off. Granted, it was a glass window, but I'm still impressed. This guy needs to live. He needs to show the
Whatever he
world.
did, he crashed my game.
Oh, shit.
So he's not just breaking the universe, he's breaking, like, meta-universes and shit. Well, either that or they've all left through the walls or some shit.
I think what happened was he went through like the second doorway.
Well,
on the
anyway,
second
as
floor.
I was saying before that shit happened, I wonder if like Jake is just like, I gotta kick these guys' heads. Oh, cool, free shit.
Well, they won't be needing this.
Yeah.
Jake's wearing, like, 5 helmets at this point.
I mean, Jake's part of special weapons and tactics. I mean, like, I wonder how
Special
he
is
explains that in the paperwork. It's like, oh yeah, I kind of had to, you know, kick their heads off. Totally police business, by the way.
You know the Tower of Hats in Team Fortress 2? Well, Jake has a Tower of SWAT
I
helmets.
just imagine that in like third person, like just showing up in the cutscenes. He's got stacks upon stacks of like SWAT helmets.
Well, in the coroner's report, everyone suffered multiple bullet wounds and serious cranial trauma. This appeared to happen several minutes after they died. How do you explain that? Well, yeah, I needed their fucking armor, lads.
Okay, see this right here? Like, they make it a point to show you the bodies, but they don't do that with Frank. Which you know, I thought nothing of until I started talking to Matthew a lot, and he mentioned that his handler, or I keep forgetting what Matthew referred to him as, but like he kept saying that he would always say "Ha, you hooligan," which is very interesting. Also, Wally, again, I want you to put spoiler tags around that or something.
I think we're long beyond the point for spoilers. From that joke in fucking part 1, a minute in.
Wait, what?
Watch back on that, you'll see what I just accidentally stumbled into. Anyway, you were saying, Lawler?
But yeah, back at the helicopter, Frank was actually talking about where the origin of that helicopter came from, and it came like from a place where the infection already started.
I haven't played Beyond the Prison, but I'm assuming the infection has spread way beyond Underhell. Yeah.
Well, that happens at the end of chapter 1, actually.
Because I think what happened was that was the original like facility that it originally happened at.
It's mentioned in the story that it happened at a facility before it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Oh, I thought you meant like the facility that most of the game takes place in.
Oh no, I was talking about the original like facility
Right.
you don't actually see, but that's like the facility that they found. Because Frank mentioned there was like pictures of dead bodies that looked like they were mutilated and tortured, so I assume that's what happened.
See, the first time that I played Prologue, that thing in there, I would just try and push against it. I didn't really think to kick it.
I really hope there's an Easter egg if you get more than 6 people in here.
Also, there was a second guy, but I don't know where he went, so I just kind of left him behind.
If game crashes as Easter eggs, that's probably it. Gotta love source loading.
I forgot to cut this out, too, while I was rendering it.
Lift crashed. I better load a solution.
Imagine having, like, save states in real life. That would be so awesome.
That would be interesting, actually.
I would use it for really mundane purposes, like telling people a split second before they sneeze that they're about to sneeze. I have no real high ambitions for superpowers.
I don't really have any either. If anything, if I had one superpower, it would be to read people's minds.
So that's what she did before joining the rebels. That is Mossman's model, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But it's like retextured.
Pretty sure it is.
Yeah. I think this is my least favorite section of the prologue.
Yeah, same here. It's like, it kind of, you have to go all the way down, then all the way back up, and...
Yeah.
I kind of like this part mainly because they sometimes, like, the NPCs try to hide behind things, but they don't do it well enough to the point where you actually see where they are.
The part where you're driving back down and just running everybody over is, like, it kind of makes up for it, though.
On that note about them hiding behind shit, I think one of my favourite images of kind of like source AI on that was a picture I saw of a boomer trying to hide behind a lamppost on fucking Left 4 Dead 2 or something. And it didn't really work, to say the least. He stood out. Still, this bit does have some nice payoff to it.
Yeah.
It's got a nice cathartic end to the whole deal. And I think parking lots.
Oh, I love this part.
His Achilles heel. I think my least favourite level of any third-person shooter that I actually like takes place in a parking lot. That'd be Max Payne's Max Payne's 1's parking lot.
What about Max Payne 3's parking lot?
That was okay.
Well...
Fucking NPCs. I was gonna try and kill that guy
They're
silently.
here for the action. I'm now desperately trying to remember Max Payne 3's parking lot.
It's at, like, the very beginning of the game.
Oh, right. Yeah, that was only like 3 rooms, though.
Yeah.
In Max Payne 1, that comes as
I was really
placement
disappointed
mode.
with Max Payne 3. Like, you know how they have a dream sequence in almost every Max Payne game? They could have done so much with that.
I don't know, I'd kind of justify that as Max Payne 1 and 2 being, you know, about, was it Nordic lore, and Max Payne 2 being about Paradise Lost, and then Max Payne 3 being about action movies. I actually really love Max Payne 3.
I like
2
the
is not the
gameplay,
best,
I
though.
don't like the story.
You know those turrets that were
Yeah?
like positioned at the bottom, and the SWAT guys like took cover.
Oh,
Just
this
watch
is
in
going
a
to be
second.
beautiful.
I'll bet it is.
Man, they turn on a dime.
Yep. Gotta love military hardware. Oh, God.
They took cover just to get shot to death, like after the cutscene.
So, do you have to take the Humvee, or is there any like way to game it past them?
No, yeah, I think you have to take a Humvee.
Okay.
I just kind of gave up trying to do that.
So, that says everything about SWAT, really, in this game.
Pretty much.
No wonder they just, like... I'm gonna keep my mouth shut, there's already been enough spoilers.
You don't have to bleep out spoilers or anything, just keep the timestamp, like, show a timestamp occasionally, saying, we stopped talking about spoilers at, like, 13:08 or something. Oh god, fucking grenades.
I'm gonna ask Lawley, can you actually, like, press E to pick up grenades and then try and fling them back if you're feeling nuts?
I haven't tried.
Oh, okay.
Neither have I.
But essentially what happened was, he threw a grenade and I tried jumping away from it, but I ended up jumping right on top of it.
You should try and do what you do in you can do in Postal 2 and try kicking them back at the enemy.
I'm pretty sure you could do that in SMod.
Yeah, with the aid of
You
slow
could do a
motion,
whole
you
bunch
can
of
do
shit in
so
this
much.
mod.
I remember you could definitely kick back the, what do you call it, the combine balls.
Yeah, one of my favorite. You could kick enough to create combine
Oh shit,
balls.
I forgot about that.
One of my favorite kills I ever got in SMod was like shooting a barrel once set on fire, kicking it into a group of enemies, and then super jumping over them to kind of rain a few shots.
See, SMod is my favorite mod for Source, because, like, you can do a whole bunch of crazy shit like that. And plus, I do like the little enhancements here and there, like with the AI and the ragdolls and the, Gibbs.
I never really understood what the S in SMod really stood for. I always assumed it meant script.
Super.
Super?
Really? I always thought it meant script mod, because apparently that actually made it so it was easier for, like, people to code in it.
Apparently, like, a lot of people complained that it was even harder to code for it, I think.
It did add a bunch of variables for that. I
why-
never used I never used those bulletproof shields, but I think you've inspired me to do so in future.
That'd be cool if you could, like, actually see through it.
You can't. There's a small slot, but it's kind
There
of
is a
awkward because
small
he holds
slot,
it out
but,
in
like,
front
the way
of him.
that it gets picked up makes that
Yeah.
kind of hard.
I never used it much in old Counter-Strike. Okay, this is just cruel now. These men clearly don't want to be here. Otherwise they wouldn't just, like, let you walk up to them and kick them.
This fucking guy.
Got good arm strength, I'll give him that. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. Yeah, oh.
Oh shit!
Oh
he shot his leg
shit!
off.
Oh, what? So, what?
Shot his leg off and threw
What?
it.
I know. I'm trying to make sense of the physics of that.
Well, I mean, sniper
Video
rifle
games.
rounds are pretty powerful.
True. That looks like a scout, and those.
That's what I thought. I was thinking about that when I was actually playing it.
Or like maybe the bullet hit his foot so hard it bounded down. His leg tried to catch up, bounded back up, and just snapped.
Ugh.
I'm thinking too much about this. I'm gonna
Yeah,
stop.
yeah.
I'm gonna stop right now.
Wait, is the part over?